Hello guys, welcome back to Knitting Catalog. I'm happy to be in your presence. Today I decided to share with you how to knit a baby jacket with hood. I post something like that on my social media handle, on Instagram, Facebook. So today I decided to share how I knit that particular baby jacket with hood. So you can see I'm already bringing out my needle, 40 by 40 needle, maybe for a age of 0 to 3 months. This size will be okay for age of 0 to 3 months. So 40 by 40 needles. So I'm going to cast on by E-wrap. So, and I'm going to use tension 9 all through. Why I'm using tension 9 all through? Because I'm using punch card to knit, and I'm knitting in tux pattern. So right now I'm going to do E-wrap on the needle. So guys, you can see what we have. I just knitted 3 rows after doing my E-wrap cast on. I knitted 3 rows. So what I forgot to tell you is this is the back area of the baby jacket. Is the back area of the baby jacket, and the total body rows is 120. But before the armhole shaping, I'm going to knit 70 rows. 70 rows. But now I'm into band. I'm going to do band right now, and the band is going to be 24 rows. So I'm going to knit the band in tux pattern. So I've already knit 3 rows, remaining 21 rows. So I'm going to inform the machine that I want to knit punch card knitting. So that's row 4, guys. So I'm going to press button for tux pattern. So this is tux pattern button. The 2 button at the left side is tux pattern button. So that's it. Press the 2 together, and I'm going to go ahead and knit extra 20 rows, in which I'm going to fold it. So let's go. So guys, we are at 24 rows right now. Tux pattern, you are using the back side as your front side. So I want to turn it right now by removing this yarn and knit maybe 1 row with waist yarn just to fold it and turn it before I will now fold. So let's see how it will be. So I'm going to remove the machine from punch card knitting and knit plain right now, then hold the card. I'm going to knit 1 row right now. So you can see, then I'm going to remove all this weight and fall out this work in order to turn the band. If I decide to fold my band this way, you can see that the tux pattern is being folded in. So I want to fold it right now and turn my work. So that's it. Then I'm going to turn it. So I'm going to turn right now and fix back. So guys, you can see I've loosed the waist yarn out of the work. So I'm going to press hold to pass my carriage back to this end, because this is where the yarn is now. So I'm going to drive my carriage back to this end and fix the yarn back to my carriage. So right now I'm going to press the hold on back and knit one row. So that's it. So I'm going to fold the band right now. You can see what we have. So I'm going to fold the band back. So guys, you can see after folding it, I have to push the needle out, to secure the stitches so that it won't come out, it won't drop out of the needle. Then I have to hang my weight back. So right now I'm going to go by informing the machine. I want to do punch card by turning it to this area. Then I'm going to knit one row. So I'm going to open my card, then press the two buttons by your left side and continue knitting. So right now I'm going to change my row counter back to 1. It's not 0 0 because I just knitted one row right now. So I'm going to turn it back to 1 and continue knitting till when I get to 70 rows. So guys, we are at 70 rows right now. You can see what we have at 70 rows, and you can see the design of the tux pattern. So right now I'm going to shape for armhole. So I'm going to go ahead by removing the yarn and cast off 10 needle the right side of the work. That's it. Then I'm going to go ahead and continue knitting. Then I'm going to knit one row back to this left side and do same here. So all the setting of the carriage is still on normal, on tux pattern setting. So that's it. Then I'm going to do cast off 10 needle for the armhole. So that's it. So right now I'm going to go ahead in knitting till I get to 50 rows. Again, I'm going to knit extra 50 row, in which when my row counter is telling me 120, I will have knitted 50 rows. So I will stop when I see 120 on my row counter. So continue knitting. Then I decide to shift this up a little bit. So guys, here is 120 rows altogether. From the down to the up is 120 rows without counting the band. So I'm going to cancel the punch card knitting and change my tension to 10 to knit 2 rows to bind off. So guys, you can see what we have as the back side of the work. You can see the folding right now. So that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and knit the front side. So the front side, since it's buttoned down, so this front side is going to be into two, the right side and the left side of the front side. So let's see how it will be. So guys, we are into the right side right now. So I've already brought the needle out, 40 needles. The back is 40 by 40, but this front side, one part of it is 40 needles only. So this is 40 needles. So I'm going to go through the process of knitting the bound of 24 rows and turn it, then fold it so that the tux part will be the front part of the knitting. So right now let's see eye to be. It's after the band is being completed right now, so I'm going to go ahead in tux pattern and knit 70 rows. So right now I'm going to inform the machine and knit one row, then press the button for pattern and start to knit. So guys, here is 70 rows right now. So I'm going to cast off the armhole by this side, 10 needle for armhole. So guys, you can see what we have right now. I'm going to knit 50 rows, and that 50 row I'm going to go straight to 30 because this is the front part in which we still have neck shaping. So I'm going to knit 30 and 20 is for the neck shaping. So I'm going to knit straight 30 rows right now. So and use 20 row for neck shaping. The neck is going to be round neck. So let's go ahead and knit the 30 rows. After 70, I'm going ahead right now to knit the 30 rows. There is 30 rows. So I'm going to knit one row right now so that my yarn will be at this area. So that's part, that one row right now is part of my neck shaping. So I'm going to cast off for the neck shaping. So I'm going to use 18 needle, total of 18 needle for neck shaping. So what I need to do is to cast off 14 needles for this neck shaping right now. I told you that it's 18 needles for neck shaping, so I'm going to cast off 14 remaining 4 needles. So that 4 needles I'm going to decrease 2 and knit 10, in which out of that 10 I've already knit one row right now. So the other 2 needle that is left, I'm going to decrease it and knit another 10 row, making it the end of the neck shaping. So right now just follow me and let's see how it's being done. So right now I'm going to cast off 14 needle. So guys, this is 14 needle off, so signify where the round neck begins. So I'm going to decrease 4 needles here to make it the total of 18 needles I want to decrease for round neck shaping. So right now I've already knitted one, so I'm going to knit 9 more rows and decrease. So I'm decreasing this right now to knit 10 rows, still in the pattern right now. So 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 I'm going to decrease another 2, making it total of 18 needles or 18 stitches, and knit 10 row right now. So that's it. That's the end of the neck shaping. You can see what we have. That's the end of it. And the needle that go out there is 18 needles. So right now I'm going to return the machine setting back to play and knit 2 rows in tension 10 to bind off. So that's it. So binding off. So guys, fixing the buttonhole band right now, both the buttonhole and button band, there's a place you will have hole, and there's a place that is just be ordinary bound. So I'm going to find out how many needle I'm going to use to cover this area, and I'm going to knit it separately because I want to use tux pattern as well. So I'm going to find a way to attach it to this, maybe by sewing or fixing it back on machine. So whichever way choose, I will let you know. So right now I'm going to fold into two and check the center needle, center zero. Then I'm going to just hang it here just like that at the center zero, then stretch and see where the needle, the work gets to. So it's showing me 30 by 30, so I'm going to use 30 by 30 to knit the band right now. So I'm going to go ahead and cast on 30 by 30 needle, which is already out already. So I'm not going to use e-wrap this time around, so I'm going to use this method to cast on, then still using tension 9. But because I want the cast on, the first row to be a little bit tight, so I'm going to go to tension 6 and knit one row with tension 6. So I don't want big loop at the starting rows, so that's why I go to tension 6. So right now I'm going to hang the casting up comb. So hanging the casting up comb right now, and push all the needle back to work. So pushing them back to work. So here we have 30 by 30. So I'm going to go back to tension 9 and knit one row right now. So that's it. So coming back, I'm going to inform my machine I want to knit tux pattern. So by informing the machine to prepare for top for punch knitting. So right now I'm moving row 3, then press the button for tux pattern. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's row 8, guys. So right now I'm going to go ahead and select where I want my buttonhole to be. So I want my buttonhole to be by leaving about 3 needle, you know, just here and this place, creating hole for buttons. Right now I'm leaving 3 needle and remove the stitches on these 2 needle. Then I'm going to go and gap another 10 needles, then removing, then to another 10 needle. So 3, 4, 5, yes, then I'm removing. So that's the only 3 holes, 3 button I want on the band right now. You can see it. So right now I'm going to introduce the needle back to work. I'm going to introduce it back to work and knit another 16 rows before I will now create another row. So I'm going to check if the knitting is okay. So I'm going to work on by using my hands to knit it manually. It's not knitting perfectly, so I get to check and see. That's it. 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. So guys, this is 16. So I'm going to remove the same stitch right now. So bringing them back to work and knit 8 rows remaining. So this is 32 rows right now for the buttonhole bound. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off punch card knitting and knit 1 row in normal plain knitting and fold this work to turn it round so that I can have this back side as my front side. So let's see how it go. This time around I did not use waste yarn, so I just want to like use the same color and fold it. Then I know that I have 1 row on top to loose off. So let my carriage come back here. Then I start to fix back to fold the band, turning it right now. So guys, you can see what we have. So I'm going to fold back. Remember I said I may fix the band on knitting machine or sew it, so I decided to fix on knitting machine. So after folding the bands together, so I'm going to attach the front side that will take the buttonhole side. So this is the O and this is the neck side of it. So I'm going to place the place that I want to use as my right side with this place right now, because this is my right side. Then I'm going to fix on the same bound, so I'm going to fix just like that and bind off after fixing. So getting the center of it right now, just make sure you pick little stitches out of it. Then I'm going to fix. So use tension 10 and knit 1 row, then bind off. No be ma. So guys, you can see what we have. So I'm going to do same to the other front side, that will carry button. So I'm going to repeat the same method. So the band is ready, guys. You can see the front band is ready for buttonhole. So right now I'm going to go ahead to find how many needle for the sleeve. So how will I know that? Is by hanging the shoulder and the armhole on center zero, the shoulder at the center zero. Then I stretch the armhole down to see how many needle it will take me to cast on for the sleeve. So now it's showing 35 needle. So that is, it will be 35 by 35 needle. So I'm going to make sure I knit this separately because I don't want any rough edges when I'm fixing on machine. So I will sew it on sewing machine. So right now I'm going to use another color to cast on for the sleeve right now. So 35 by 35, I'm going to do a wrap to cast it on. So I'm going to hang the weight on it. So I'm going to knit 100 rows. So the 100 rows, I'm going to share 100 rows into two and knit the first part 50 rows straight before shaping for the sleeve, before shaping the sleeve at the both side. So right now, knitting in the pattern, the tux pattern right now. So I have to set my row counter to 3 right now. Then see tension 9, guy, is see tension 9 that we are using. So press the 2 button and continue knitting till when I get to 50 rows. So guys, this is 50 rows, guys. So I'm going to be decreasing 2 needle at both sides and knit 10 rows. So 2 needle at both sides, decrease 2 needle at both sides and knit 10 rows. So guys, you can see what we have as 100 rows right now. 50 straight, and we use 2 needles by decreasing 2 needles at both sides and knit 10 rows till we get to 25 by 25 needles right now. This is 25 by 25 needle. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do rib, no band for the hand, but I'm going to use double yarn right here and knit 4 rows, and bind off to make the bound. So I'm not going to do any formal bound on it. So I'm going to use these 2 yarn right now, the 2 yarn right now, and knit 2 rows, 4 rows, I mean, and knit 4 rows with tension 10. Then the setting is back to plain, guys. So I'm going to knit 4 rows with this double yarn. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. You can see what we have. So I'm going to use one of it, then remove it and use one, to knit 2 rows in tension 10 to bind off. I'm using it to bind off. So I'm going to like tension 10, 2 rows. That's 1. To bind off. That's it. That's my band. So I'm going to do away with this side yarn. During the sewing, the side yarn is going to be taken care of. So I'm going to do away with them and bind off. So I'm going to repeat this same process of sleeve to the second sleeve. So that's what we have. So binding it off right now. You can see how the sleeve is looking like right now. So this place is so thick enough, to withstand the stress of putting hand to, fix it on baby hand. So I'm going to make another one just exactly like this, to the other sleeve. Hood part right now, the cap section. So I'm going to sew that to on sewing machine. So I'm going to cast on 60 by 60 needle and knit 110 row with tux pattern, the same pattern I've been using, and I'm going to use the dark peach, the peach for the sleeve. So this is it right now. So I'm going to cast on 60 by 60 needle. I'm going to cast on 60 by 60 needle with tension 9. Then that's it. Then so pack all this together, and I'm going to knit. That's one. So inform the machine. So guys, I'm going to knit up to 110. So I'm going to change. So this is 4 row right now. 4 rows there right now. So I'm going to change my row counter to 4 and make sure I start checking. When I get to 110, I'm going to bind off. Then the remaining one is just to go and fix by sewing them, joining them on sewing machine. I'm about to join, to sew this baby jacket with hood right now. So I'm having the back side and the two front side. So I'm going to sew the shoulder first, to join the shoulder, and see, you can see the armhole, and I'm going to go ahead and join the two shoulders together. So you can see what we have, guys. So this is the shoulder right now joined together. So I'm going to go ahead and fix the sleeve. So that is the front side, and the front side of the sleeve is going to be mashed together. So this is the texturized side, the tux pattern side. So I'm going to face it just like this, but before then I have to find the half of the sleeve right now, from the shoulder side. So this is the half of it. So I'm going to pin it, pin it to the shoulder seam, just like this. So, and I'm going to sew down, sew to the end, just like this. So I'm going to do this to the both hand. So what I'm going to do is not to make the seam allowance to be too much. So I'm going to make sure I match at the tip of the seam allowance, not to have much allowance. So just like that, then start to sew. You can see that I'm just sewing them together without seam allowance. It's just overlapping at each other. You can see what I mean, so that it will not have rolling edge. You can see what we have. Then I'm going to close the side seam together I'm going to close it together, but before then I have to do the second sleeve. So guys, the jacket is complete right now, so it's remaining to attach the hood on the neck region. So what I need to do is to get the hood part of it. This is the cast off area. This is 60 by 60, if you can still remember, and this is the cast off area. So what I'm going to do is to fold and join the cast off area together, just like this. You can see, fold it into two, and I'm going to sew straight, just like this. So guys, you can see what I'm saying. This is the head right now, and this is the face side, the front side. So I want to bend it over so that you can have a band in which strand can enter and tie, just like this. So I'm going to fold it 1 inch and sew, so that strand can pass through it. To fold back, to just make sure the marking area, and use my eye to gauge. I'm going to gauge by using my eyes to gauge. I'm not going to use tape. So guys, you can see what we have. So this is the front side of the face right now. So the strand is going to come out from here. So I'm going to now go back and attach this place to the, attach here to the neck of the baby jacket. So I have to check the center back of the cap. This is it. So I will mark the center back right here. I've already marked that center back of the cap. Then I'm going to mark the center back of the jacket right now, and this is it. So I'm going to match the two center back together by making the right side to face each other and pin them together. So I'm going to pin them together so that I secure them not to shift. So that's it. Pinning them together right now. So what I'm going to do right now is to stretch the half part, because this is the center and this is one half and this is the other half. So what I'm going to do is to make sure this band and this stripe band matches together also, and I'm going to sew through. Then to the other side is going to be the same thing. So I'm going to start sewing from here. Make sure you don't put much seam allowances. So I'm going to go down and do my reverse, that's it, and start sewing across the neck. Start joining the cap across the neck. So and make sure the cap fits the jacket neck, just like this. So if you know that you cannot just gauge it right, you can just use office pin to tack it down. So then I'm going to go to the other half right now. Stretch and sew. You can see the hood right now, and where the rope for the cap will come out from, and this is the bottom band. Everything goes very well, so you can see what we have. So I'm going to use hand and needle to sew this place right now and the down part of it. So then I will now tack the button. So the next part of it is by putting the animal ear around here. So I'm going to go back to knitting machine and show you how to do that. So guys, this is the hood right now, after fixing it. So I want to fix the animal ear. So right now, you make sure that the back of the hood is facing you. You can see the back is facing me right now, and the front is facing the machine. So I'm going to measure 3 inches from the center joining of the cap, the half of the hood. So then 3 inches here, that's 3 inches at this side. We measure from this area to here to get 3 inches. Then after that, so I'm going to measure from here now for the center to where the ear will be. So I'm going to leave 1.5 inches, you know so the ear will start from here. This is 3, from here 3, then 1.5. So I'm going to fix from here. Then you measure 1.5 to the other side from the joining. Then at that place that the 3 inches we mark, I'm going to measure another 1.5 for the second year to start from there. So that's it. So fixing of the year will start from this place. So as the front of the hood is facing the machine, so I'm going to pick up this place I mark and fix 20 needle for the year. So this is 10. Then make sure you did not drag too much, you did not stretch the work too much, then to this place. Yes, then I'm going to fix to machine. So you can see and knit with the color of the hood. So I'm going to knit with the color of the hood. So you don't need to pick too much when you are fixing on the machine. So I'm going to go to tension 9 and knit 1 row. That's it. Then I'm going to like hang floor weight on it. So that's it. Then right now I'm going to inform machine knitting punch card right now. Then I'm going to knit 30 rows. So I've already knitted 2 rows, so I'm going to complete it 30 rows. So guys, we have 30 row already right now. So I'm going to cast off 5 needles at both edge. So I'm going to cast off 5 needles at both edge right now. So I'm going to knit across to cast off at the other edge 1 row right now. Then I'm going to cast off at the other side of the work 5 needle as well. So that's it. So I'm going to knit across 1 row again. So I'm going to do away with this yarn right now. So cut it off, and I'm going to get the second color that we have on the jacket. So I'm going to knit 20 rows right now of just this 10 needle. 5 have left the work, 5 at both sides have left the work. So I'm going to knit straight right now to 20 rows. So guys, we are at 20 rows right now, so you can see what we have. So at 20 rows right now, so I'm going to bind off. So I'm going to turn off the punch card setting and turn to plain, turn my tension to 10 and need 2 rows to bind off. That's it. I'm going to tidy up this yarn ends right now, just like this. Then take it to the back of the work. I'm going to tie it up at the back around here. Let it come to the inner part of the work. That's it. So I'm going to hide it there. Then right now, I'm going to get this yarn, the dark color yarn of, I'm going to get the dark peach yarn and fix on my tapestry needle. Then what I'm going to do is to do a gather stitch. So I'm going to use my tapestry needle and make a knot in at the inner part of this place right now, to start to use the tapestry needle to gather the edge of this corner, like a gather stitch. I want to gather it to make it curve. So just like this, making a gather stitch, to gather it just like that across this area. So that's it. You can see what we have. So that's it. So at the same time, I'm going to take this edge by sewing it along the gather edge. So I'm going to pinch a little because I'm sewing it at the right side. It's not in. So I'm going to be careful the way I pinch the stitches or the edge right now, so that it won't be rough, just like that. So I will just be pinching it. So first of all, I gather the edge of the dark peach and then start to sew along the edge down. Now I'm going to sew it down. You can see that it's folding it back and with a lot of gathering stitches along the peach side. So I'm going to make sure I position this at the center because it's supposed to be at the center of the work. So I'm going to drag this edge down to the center part. You can see it right now. So I'm going to drag it, and this knot that I have, I'm going to push all the yarn ends inside the space I'm having to hide them there. So just like this. So I'm going to repeat this the same thing to this side, but what I need to do is to drag this back to the center and stitch it down gently, picking little yarn, and stitch it down gently. So that's it. Then I'm going to put this end inside as well. You hide it inside, and I'm going to break up my yarn here to enable me to gather this area and sew the same way I sew here. So breaking it right now, then I'm going to attach the yarn to this edge by knotting it and gather the edge of this side as well. So then I'm going to do gather stitches, round. Then I'm going to draw it, you can see, and sew down to the edge. Mm. So you can see what we have. You can see what we have, guys. So I'm going to take care of the end yarn right now. So you can see, and tie it up. Then go to the back. Pass the needle to the back and take care of these two ends right now. So I'm going to knot this and cut it off, then tie this together and cut it off. So you see what we have at the ear of the baby, so the baby hood jacket. So this is the ear side of it. So I'm going to make another one at this mark area.